Kansas go. Also, I love the infusion of Brooklyn Leggett right there, number 4 for Wichita State. She's kind of came on the scene for them, and she is going to provide a lot of offensive firepower. Super athletic player. And then also with the starting 9, number 26, Allie Polson for the Shockers tonight. The first look at, we haven't seen her play yet. She was a redshirt freshman.
All right, Wichita State will be in the gold, trimmed in black. The Kansas Jayhawks in their home whites, trimmed in crimson and blue. Kansas will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Good look at Aya El-Nadi, the outstanding outside hitter for the Jayhawks.
Who serves the Kansas, number 14, Caroline Bien.
Caroline Bien, a senior from nearby Overland Park, will serve it up. We're underway. Glad you're with us from Lawrence. It's El-Nadi who turns it back. Kansas scores first.
And just a strong blocking move from Aya El-Nadi, not getting used or tooled, got her hip space back into the floor. Kansas, if you look at the veterans on this squad, they have London Davis, who played significant impact role for them last season, along with their 2 outsides with Aya El-Nadi and Caroline Bien.
Shockers go right back to it, and it's down the line for a point.
Always appreciate, that was a good set selection from Izzy Strand. They said, yeah, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to get right back in this. You just got terminated blocked, and I'm gonna go right back to you and let her get back on the board with the kill.
Emily Husty puts it in play. Out to El-Nadi. London Davis was there for Kansas. String it away is Morgan Stout.
And Morgan Stout, the player that we featured in the opening, just a quick reaction here. Strong blocking moves from Kansas, not able to terminate, but give credit to the Shockers' coverage on that, not allowing their attackers to get blocked and hit the floor.
Turner goes to London Davis, who cuts a nasty angle, even a 2.
And more about placement from London Davis. In so many matches last season for Kansas, she was the X factor. She was that player that allowed for the Jayhawks offense to be very versatile.
Reagan Burns for the Jayhawks. The Kansas block, that's Brooklyn Leggett.
You can see already the Shockers wanting to try to exploit and go after the smaller 2 of the blockers, which would be the 2 outsides for Kansas, Aya El-Nadi and Caroline Bien, and she goes to the front row.
Galligan serves. Turner to El-Nadi, who pounds it down.
Well, an open net, a lot of that is because of the block that Toyosi Onabanjo is going to take. So watch, the blockers have to stay true to Onabanjo. Izzy Strand gets help at that because she's going to try to double block, and rightfully so, but an open net that Aya El-Nadi just exploited.
That wide from Stout, point Kansas.
For the Shockers continuing to go to that right zone offensively time and time again. Certainly that's what they saw on film that said, hey, we're going to try to hit in this zone because defensively, whether it's the block or the court defense, they thought that there was a weakness that they could go to against Kansas.
Ray McGee with a good serve. Onabanjo tipped it back. Back to Onabanjo. Wilford was there. El-Nadi off the hand.
Well, Wilford sent the first attempt back from Onabanjo. She didn't see too many of those, but Rowley goes on, and then a smart swipe of the block from El-Nadi.
Chance for the Jayhawks. Turner out to El-Nadi, who places it perfectly. Kansas up 6-3.
It looks very rhythmic right now for Kansas. It's that defense into offense. Britt McGee stepping in to take that free ball. And then a smart shot on a free ball where he's sitting back almost, but it was the tip over the block, and El-Nadi just has everything in her toolbox.
Emerson Wilford to serve.
Emerson Wilford, the junior, will serve it. On a banjo. Right through the block of Gonzalez. She's picking up right where she left off last weekend.
Oh, we talked about how good of a weekend. She actually leads Kansas in kills. That's her middle blocker for Kansas. And you can see just the connection. She transferred a year ago from the University of Iowa. And it took a little bit of time, I think, for that trust to be built between Cameron Turner and her. But it is on point so far this season.
Pick up from the Jayhawks. El Nadi. Diving save. Alesti kept the Shockers in that point.
An incredible effort to get this ball up and alive, and then an even better play out of the net. That's a difficult ball. Gonzalez helping her teammate out. Play goes on, and then in the net, violation from Kansas.
El Nadi from the back row. On a banjo. Great effort from Galligan.
Katie Galligan can cover a long distance. She's so athletic on the back row. Gets her hands on that one, which is just impressive, but it's a smart shot and a solid 3 rows for Toyosiana Banjo. 2 kills on 3 attempts.
Freshman Heidi Devers now for Kansas. Bien sends it deep. Turner sees the corner open. What's her volleyball IQ?
It's really high. I just think it's one of the best stories in all of college volleyball, the Cameron Turner story. I mean, a player that was recruited from a D2 school in Washburn and Kansas. And, you know, coming from Topeka, Kansas, dreamed of playing here. And the Big 12 Setter of the Year, an All-American. I mean, she deserves her flowers, all of the flowers that she's going to get all season long.
Always wanted to be a Jayhawk, didn't she?
Serving number 16, Izzy Strand.
Izzy Strand will serve it. Good effort from Strand. That one sails wide. Ayano will get the credit for that one from Kansas.
And Aisha Ayano, that was one of the spots that Kansas had to fill because of the graduation of Michaela Myers a year ago. And there's a lot of depth in that middle blocker position. And Ayano getting the starting nod for Kansas first weekend out. A high deep shot in the court, just not able to be handled on the backcourt defense for the Shockers.
Bien. Senior with a big time block.
Caroline Bien, one of those other veterans for Kansas, diving in, not allowing that seam. Think there's a seam. Gonzalez tries to go at it, but Caroline Bien just closes it.
Molly Paulson with a quick tempo.
At 6'2", got it, getting the starting nod for the Shockers, and you can see the strong hand, good, even better location on that deep shot into the corner.
Serve long from Reagan Anderson, who's from nearby St. Thomas Aquinas. She got a nice cheer in the introductions. About 15 minutes away.
I always love this match too because it does feature some hometown. I mean, when you have the 2 in-state teams play against one another. Caroline Bien from the same high school.
How about Aquinas to Aquinas right there? Turner saves it. El Nadi rolls it. Just a little too long for Wolford.
Those are the plays that Wichita State wants to try to capitalize on. And that's when I talked to Lambo earlier today. He said, you know, Kansas will, from time to time, roll it. Like their outsides will roll it. And we got to pick those up. It was a nice run through, but then they have to convert. So it's that defense to offense conversion that he's looking for to put the ball away.
Sails long, point Kansas. Chris Lamb's a real character, isn't he?
Oh,
He has not stopped talking since he hit the floor for warm-ups. He has been to Ray Bouchard, he's been to Billy Ebel, he visited with you earlier. We'll take a timeout. Wichita State trailing Kansas 14-7 here in the opening set from Lawrence on ESPN+.
It's estimated between now and 2050, we're going to add 1.7 billion people to the planet. The more people, the more energy. The United States is doing its part, rising.
Scoring run right now, and Chris Lamb wanted to try to put a stop to a good first contact there.
Diving attempt from the end, goes into the stands. Point Wichita State.
So I do appreciate it at Wichita State. They've been a program where they want to try to utilize the middle, and that's why they get some of the transfers we've seen into their program in the middle blocker position. Say, hey, they know they actually utilize their middles offensively, and that's the type of offense that they wanted to join.
So it's back to Reagan Burns for Kansas. Good swing, Morgan Stout.
As I mentioned, admirably called Dennis Rodman, referring to just her athleticism and her strength.
Good swing.
So much firepower in the middle. What a great story too. Chris Lamb was talking to me about her and just her development through the years.
Celebration from Emerson Wilford.
That's a really physical block that Wichita State puts up against London Davis on this right side with Stout and Wilford.
London Davis powers it through the block. You have to love the stories of players who have a dream and find a way to make it happen.
Right. And I always root too for the small town people as well. I was one of those myself.
The Wellsville girl.
Able to, make it to the Division I level from coming from a small town, and that was exactly what Morgan Stout's story from Fowler, Kansas.
It's opening up a 7-point lead now. On a banjo. I think that one caught the line. Yes.
Able to get that top spin. You saw where Stout just missed it, couldn't get the top spin. The difference there, Anna Banjo was able to get some spin, finding that back line. It looked like it was out. I agree. I think it was the back row there said it was out. It did look like that at first glance.
Turner. Good effort from Galligan. Burns there for the Jayhawks. El Nadi has a block.
Yeah, just
Izzy Strand.
I think when you have that opening, that's a physical block out there that Izzy Strand's able to put up and just dives into this. You think you have the seam? Nope, not so fast. That left hand.
Emerson Wilford. El Nadi. Great set. Morgan Stout with the swing.
She applauded her setter right afterwards, didn't she? Right back to her saying, nice set.
Morgan Stout to serve.
Block couldn't get there to close in time, and it was a beautiful tempo ball.
Bien. Just through the block of Paulson.
And his arm swing just tucks it underneath in time before that block could get fully penetrated over the net.
Out to Bien. That's a Gonzalez. To a hard-fought point.
Now taking a swing here, and then just a heads-up play, seeing that deep corner open, going over on one. A transfer into the program from TCU, along with Gabby Moss, who is unable to play due to injury.
How about Elnady bringing some heat?
And I think Kansas is going to utilize Elnady on the back row a lot this season. We've already seen it a number of times in this first set alone. The 6 rotation players, both of the outside hitters for Kansas are 6 rotation players, so they're out there. They have that ability to swing then from the back row.
Bien kicked it and saved it. London Davis there for Kansas. And now the Jayhawks with a chance. Tipped over, London Davis.
What else can Cameron Turner do, though? You know, I mean, how about the nice little, oh, that was Caroline Bien.
Yeah, Bien with the little messy move.
That was. Caroline Bien says, I got my own.
Timeout on the floor.
I wonder if she's even played a soccer game in her life, honestly. Like, that's one of those things. Or a little kick save.
Well, rankings are certainly nothing new for the Kansas Jayhawks. You picked the fall sport. The Jayhawks obviously off to a great start in the football season, but these are schools ranked in both the top 25 in football and volleyball. Texas with the number 1 and number 3, but there's Kansas.
Everyone's in alignment, from the chancellor, Gerard, to the AD and Travis Goff, along with all the staff. There's just so much good momentum and enthusiasm. And then when you have everybody in line and everybody's working toward a common goal, you can just feel it. It's palpable here on campus. And certainly the volleyball program holding their end of the bargain, and Coach B doing such a great job over his time here at Kansas. But no, they're not going to fool anybody now, right? I mean, it was like kind of they're back on the rise. Word is out. Preseason Big 12 favorite. But non-conference, they have a heck of a schedule if you look at their non-conference as they continue on before Big 12 even gets here. They have a slew of opponents upcoming up this weekend at Marquette. Western Michigan is a great team. Purdue comes into town. Creighton as well.
Great schedule. Cameron Turner with the serve. London Davis slowed that down. Big time block by Allie Paulson.
When I talked to Coach Lamb earlier today, he said, I'm going to give Allie Paulson the starting nod today. And he's like, she's doing great things in practice. And you can see here evidence of continuing to work hard throughout the point, working laterally, closing that block.
Redshirt freshman. And again, London Davis placing it perfectly, taking Kansas to 23.
Well, now a few times now, the Shockers unable to make that adjustment. You can see 2 players merging there. I think Kelsey is trying to call for that ball, but she has to be the one to make that play, the bro for the Shockers to run through that one and pick that tip up.
And with the serve. Right through the Kansas block.
Well, give credit to Izzy Strand. She's able to locate her middles so well. That has to be so fun as a middle blocker to say, hey, I got this middle or this setter that's not going to give up on me if I drive hard at the ball.
Megan Burns saved it for Kansas. Chance for the Shockers. Izzy Strand is firing up her hitters, isn't she? Morgan Stout with the kill.
You can see the fire from Morgan Stout too. As Lambo told me, you know, she's definitely one of the leaders on the floor. I mean, she is a fierce competitor.
Nadi pounds away. Takes Kansas to set points.
Just tremendous tempo on that set to the outside. Seam still there in the block that El Nadi can hit through.
Versus Wilford. Staves off a set point.
Katie Galligan to serve.
Katie Galligan in the serve. On a banjo. Wraps up the first set for Kansas. 25-17. Anna Banjo off to a great start in her senior season. She puts the wraps on this one. 25-17. Jason has hit very, very well at a very high percentage.
Yeah, just after the first weekend, it's just 3 matches in, but second in the country in that regard, hitting 377 coming into this match as a team. So certainly their offensive numbers have been high just 3 matches in, and it's something they're going to look to continue to do because they lost Reagan Cooper, who was one of the best players in the country last year, a player that everybody in the gym knew that she was going to get the ball. I think this year Kansas and their MO has to be a little bit more balanced and also a little bit more offensive production from their middles, and we're starting to see that already 3 matches out with Toyosi Onabanjo, and then also Iono, whoever is going to be their other middle is going to get the nod. But I think that that's where Kansas is going to have to find more of that balance to get more offensive production from that middle blocker position.
All right, teams have switched sides. Kansas will be on your right, Wichita State on your left. We talked about Kansas's schedule. Wichita State has scheduled a good one too this year.
They leave here and they have to go on the road and play against Arkansas. They already played Indiana, who's receiving votes. They narrowly knocked off Indiana, a team that is receiving votes in the top 25. But they have to play Arizona State, Long Beach State, and Nebraska in the same weekend in Nebraska. So I talked to
Might be a little anger up there.
He said, you know what, we got to do it. We got to do it, right? I mean, they're preseason picked to finish second in their conference, and they have their eyes set. They won the NIVC last season, which is fantastic. So much momentum coming from that, winning that tournament. But they want to get back into the NCAA tournament this season.
Reagan Anderson with a great pickup. London Davis long. Shockers score first here in the second set.
I know that didn't go down as a kill, but that's some of that magic that Cameron Turner, that Coach Lamb and I were talking about. He's like, she just throws it. I mean, throws magic throughout the match.
Emerson Wilford. 15 kills against Kennesaw State. She's having a good match today.
I know it's just 2 points in, but the perfect response from Wichita State to get those first 2 points. Kansas has maybe ended an adjustment on the tip shot.
Turner there for Kansas. Tel Nadi. Out of play, point KU.
El Nadi just getting enough of this on the secondary set from Burns, and that left hand of the Shockers block just couldn't press down in time.
7 kills now for El Nadi.
Wichita State.
And if you look at Wichita State, just three matches in, but 2 of those went the distance. So they're comfortable saying, hey, we'll settle in and we'll play as long as you want to play here.
We're just down the road.
I think they probably are just going to head to Arkansas after this, I would think. I didn't confirm that, but I would think so. Makes sense. They took on the Razorbacks. Yeah, on the 6th of September.
Naughty there for Kansas. Right down the line from Brooklyn Leggett.
That's a great story from Brooklyn Leggett, a player that went to another program and wasn't playing there, but got picked up from Wichita State and has got into the starting lineup this season.
Now it's the Shockers who found a little momentum. Turner out to El Nadi. Nice diving dig from Anderson. On the Banjo.
This is one of the best celebratory turns, isn't she?
She has the best smile.
Just watch this joy right away, like.
El Nadi with the first ace inside Horish.
And key starts are flying here in Horish Family Volleyball Arena when aces occur for the home team. And fittingly so that El Nadi gets that.
Turner with the block. For a touch? No, point Kansas.
That's Cameron Turner just doing it all for the Jayhawks. Leave out there by herself, diving in. So now I got this all by myself here. A 3-0 scoring run for Kansas. But
no fear there. Again dives and gets to it. El Nadi from the back row. Now it's the Jayhawks who are rolling. Take a 6-5 lead.
This defensive play from Caroline Bien. She was about to swing block and still was able to make that read and make that up. Anytime I see an incredible defensive play like that, I'm going to call it out because that was fantastic from Caroline Bien, who's on the front row right now for Kansas.
Wilford scores it for the Shockers.
Emerson Wilford to serve.
Bien got a hand on that. Cameron Turner was able to save it, and then Bien got a hand on it. On a Banjo, once but not twice. Great point.
A tremendous fight from both teams, but the defensive effort in Kansas to keep the ball alive. Play goes on. And then Izzy Strickle player.
Tight to the net, Cameron Turner. On a Banjo with the tip. 7-all.
And this ball here is where LSC wants to talk to her team, say, hey, don't reach back. I'm right there for the run through.
Evers back in the match to serve. Bien sees the opening and sends it there, but Bryn McGee with a nice pickup.
The play for Bryn McGee, I mean, the senior in right back has been holding it down, both in service reception and defensively. What a wonderful story of a player that's continued to give and give with her time here, seeing time on the floor this season.
El Nadi just gave her a pat on the back. Bien sent that one back. It's Gonzalez off the Kansas block.
Both Shockers outside hitters right now are doing a wonderful job utilizing the block as a tool. They're swiping their hands. They're getting what they want in that regard. Tooling the block.
Wichita State.
Timing just off a little bit for Ayano.
And she's trying to take a roll shot. I believe no touch at the plane of the net. Good call from the officials.
Cameron Turner, a big part of that block. Turner dumps it over. Good pickup from Callaghan. The end.
And I heard within that rally, someone wanting a double contact. Well, newsflash, rule change. There are no double contacts on that second contact. So if you see balls that spin or have a couple rotations on it, that's not going to be called. That is a rule change this year. You can't double the ball on the way over, but you can double that second contact. So maybe they'll tell the fans that. But I did see what they saw, but that's not going to be called.
From the back row, it's Emerson Wilford.
At point for point right now, and Wichita State, give credit to Izzy Strand, who's continuing to mix up players and their involvement, that time a back row attack.
And with a big swing. Burns was able to save it. Brooklyn Leggett. Now it's the Shockers by 2.
And Leggett with so much firepower here on the right side. I mean, that is a wonderful deep line swing.
And he runs it down, leaves it for London Davis. Allie Paulson making the most of her start.
And Kansas right now becoming a little bit more predictable because they're not in system their last couple passes.
Ray Bouchard wants a timeout. Kansas took the opening set, but trail here in the second. Here on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Score 20% off apparel and gifts each Tuesday.
This is Coach Lance Leipold. We're used to talking about all things football, but right now I want you to hear these 4 important words about the growing crisis of drug overdoses.
Hey. Turner out to BN.
And the veteran coming through for Kansas. You can see just goes right around that outside hand, the left hand of the Shocker block.
Leggett once again. 5 kills for her.
That Leggett continuing to heat up, and it's a strong approach right into a double block, so she knew 4 hands were going to be there.
El Nadi.
Perfectly placed from Cameron Turner in a zone where El Nadi had to see him. Watch this push out and the great tempo. Quick little point over to her teammate, applauding that set.
9 kills for El Nadi. Megan Burns with a good serve. Right down the line for Emerson Wilford.
Wichita State right now having a lot of success on that left pin. Early in that first set, you see they were going to the right side side often, but might not wanting to change what they're doing right now because they're having success.
Kansas goes on a banjo.
Well, 6 kills on no errors, 8 attempts is on a banjo, and you can see doing it in a number of ways. This time in front of the setter. We've seen her on the slide behind.
Sails long, point Kansas. The Hawks climb to within 1. about the quick tempo. Morgan Stout.
Continuing to be insistent here, and then just a tremendous connection between those two players, and a lot of trust leading your middle blocker into that quick tempo ball.
On a banjo.
Well, making something out of nothing. That one really wasn't in the great area for her to take a strong attack at it, but the tip's still working. That time it was the blocker's hands that got involved. I think if they let that one fall, I think the backcourt defense had that.
El Nadi with her second ace, even at 15. Now Wichita State wants a timeout.
Both of their aces, she featured a line-to-line, so that ball is going to get on a service reception core in a hurry because line-to-line, and she's putting so much pace on it and that jump float. Not only is El Nadi leading the Jayhawks with 9 kills, hitting 400, but features 2 service aces as well.
You had mentioned that Kansas serving very aggressively up until this set. They did not have an ace, but it seems like that is a point of emphasis for them, maybe.
I mean, you look at the upper echelon of teams in the country. If you don't serve aggressive, don't even consider yourself a top Sweet 16 team, because that's what those teams do, and they do it extremely well. Not just one of your servers, but everybody within your roster. You can't just go over there and lollipop. Teams are just too good, too physical. That's why you saw Texas win a national championship last year. They simply served teams off the court last year when it got to the Final Four.
And is that one of the strong points of this Kansas squad this year, the depth, the players that they have that can take the court and play very, very well for them?
And I talked to Coach Bouchard last week. I came to practice, and he said, we're so deep. I mean, if someone's struggling, we have the next, not just one player, but 2 players on the bench that can come in every single position. So it is certainly something where if things aren't going right, if they find themselves down, they'll make a change in a hurry because they have that luxury this season. And in seasons past, they might not have had that. It's like, hey, you got to figure it out on your floor, but they have a veteran team, but also some youth on their roster too, which provides a lot of depth.
We haven't even seen Zoe Burgess yet.
Exactly, and she's preseason freshman of the year in the Big 12. She played this past weekend a bit, but we have not seen her yet tonight.
El Nadi with the serve. Bien. Gillespie just kind of self-defense there. It gets the job done. Well, you liberos are tough.
Well, Coach Lamb said, he's like, you're going to like my littles, I promise. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, anybody that sits in there and says, hey, I'm going to take it, you know that you're there to battle.
Great pickup. And Gillespie. Turner dumps it with the left hand. Jayhawks and Shockers going back and forth.
Coach Lamb thought it was Turner in the net, and they said, nope, quickly, that was the ball. And I agree, I think that was the ball. Just filling up the stat sheet. Cameron Turner doing what she does.
Bien with a big block. And now it's Kansas on top.
Well, out there in a hurry. That was more about getting there in time, pressing, not getting used with that left hand. Phenomenal job by Caroline Bien.
And with a great effort.
Well, you just spoke Leaf, and now we see Zoe Burgess in the ball game, number 13 for the Jayhawks.
Exciting player. Turner leaves it for El Nadi from the back row. Burgess gets a swing. Burgess again. Good pickup from Burns. Wide from Gonzalez. It's point Kansas.
So much fight throughout this entire rally. I mean, and it seemed like actually Kansas was on the back heel there, and Wichita State had a free ball. They just could not capitalize.
Emerson Wilford saw the opening.
And the ball here, the defense, you see Burns flying in. I think there was maybe an off blocker that could have probably ran through that ball a little bit easier.
And with the left hand, but Leggett is right there. Now it's the Shockers with the lead. Yen pounds it down, even at 19.
And the ball here with great tempo out to Caroline Bien. You can see just gets it right through the block in time before they could press together. And it's the pace of play that Kansas has. You can see that which Cameron Turner just owns that as a setter, the ball in her hands.
Burgess and London Davis closing the window.
You know, Leggett went for it though. She's like, hey, I'm not going to roll shot or tip shot. She just went for it, but the Kansas block. Discipline in their press.
Back to Burgess. Alyssa Gonzalez making it 20 all.
Well, the defense right now is slowing down everything that Burgess goes in and attacks at right now. I mean, even just with a soft block. So give them credit from a blocking perspective. Not terminating blocking, but allowing their defense to run through and pick up the ball.
Tough ball from Cameron Turner. She made something out of it. Again, Burns with a pickup. Burns again. Reagan Anderson with a nice play. That's down. Shockers with the lead.
Coach B quickly asking his bench, was that out? Was that wide? And they said, yeah. He looked right over at him. Goes and pulls the challenge card. But I love this set from Izzy Strand. Everybody was thinking that ball is going to go to the outside. Goes against the grain to her.
Right in front of Billy Ebel. Eagle Eye Eagle.
So we can give him a hard time if he's wrong. We wouldn't do that, Billy.
Well, from our angle, from this angle, certainly looks like that ball is touching blue. But
at the first challenge of the year, you got me.
I don't think this one gets overturned.
Don't see enough. It's all about the lens in which you view the game.
Whose cow's eating the cabbage?
Is your cow black and gold or is it red and blue? Is that what you mean?
Is it on the Lawrence side of the fence or Wichita side? Well, so the crowd has seen it on their beautiful big Jumbotron here and getting a look at what the officials were looking at. And from that view, it did look like it was wide. So why not start the season out 0-1 for Leaf? It's going to be point Kansas.
That's a lot of trust in his bench right there.
Yeah.
Coach B's looked right at him. I know it's been a number of years, though, and I still just love the implementation of the challenge, right? It was years and years without it, and we saw so many matches, didn't we, partner, where it was just decided and then coaches didn't have that ability to challenge a call.
Regan Burns to serve.
And I think that technology that tennis has is slowly making its way. And when that happens, when you can get an instant feedback in or out, that will be a game
First weekend
changer.
out, they had that, you know, and then there was no line officials on the court. It looked odd, didn't it? I mean, you're like, oh, wow, we're missing something.
Who would John McEnroe yell at? Great effort from the Shockers to keep that alive. El Nadi tips it. Strand was there. Cameron Turner for Kansas. Regan Burns. El Nadi. Regan Anderson with the dig. Hannah Banjo and London Davis. Great plays on both sides.
Point of the year, I know it's early, but earmark that one because that had a lot of everything within it. And so to push it back.
And how big was that challenge now? 22-20 Kansas.
I think both sides are welcoming this break in the action right now.
Catch your breath?
Catch your breath a little bit. It's electric here. Sold out crowd. It's a tough ticket to get here.
Start seeing that sold out sign pop up more and more on the schedule, don't you? Talk about what a great fall it is on campus and what a time to be a Jayhawk with the football team doing so well and volleyball adding to the excitement.
I think the new head coach soccer program as well. I mean, they haven't necessarily got some of the results of late, but they're an exciting team, and I think you're going to see that program on the rise. You know, overall, Kansas coming into this season, they knew that they had the veterans needed. They had 13 total returners, but also 6 newcomers that, as you mentioned earlier, the number 4 recruiting class in the country that Kansas have. And 4 Jayhawks awarded Big 12 preseason. Cameron Turner, IL Nade, London Davis, and then Zoe Burgess named preseason Freshman of the Year. Our first look at her.
Regan Burns with the serve. Off the Kansas hands. Shockers pulled within 1.
Izzy Strand just looks so comfortable. I mean, I know she's a veteran.
She's fun to watch, though.
She
brings a lot of energy.
Just energy, but like calmness, too, when she plays.
Oh, Nadi swings. 23-21.
I do think that there's something extra, and that ball from IL Nade, the senior, when it's your senior year, there's just like a little bit extra. You know,
mile per hour faster?
You savor every single moment. You start to count down here. You're like, how many times do I still get to play at home?
There's somebody else who can bring the energy as a senior, too. Hannah Banjo takes Kansas to set points. An ace. Bryn McGee closes it out, 25-21. A hard-fought set goes to the Kansas Jayhawks.
She has on the front row, but also the back row, and then also to get this party started tonight, it was a block, not getting fooled at all, and then you can see she is able to bounce the ball. If you leave an opening, she's able to exploit it, and then also a couple roll shots to fool the hands as well. She has 10 kills on 27 attempts, hitting .333, but doing it in a multitude of different ways. Wherever you leave the opening, she's going to be able to exploit it, and just the versatility that she has and the different tempo balls and the connection between Cameron Turner and Aya El-Nadi, also flying in the back row when it needs to be done. And then she also boasts the 2 service aces for the Jayhawks, the senior that we've seen throughout her career here have the firepower, but it's so smart. I mean, she has a high volleyball IQ and does it in a multitude of ways.
Kansas off to a sizzling start in that opening set, now down to hitting 273. Still a pretty good percentage for Kansas, holding Wichita State to 130.
And it wasn't the best from a hitting percentage in that second set, but they did what they needed to, closing out a very tight set. And in the Big 12, they're going to see a lot of those, you know, certainly in the Big 12.
All right, teams have flipped sides. Kansas will be on your left. Caroline Bien serves it. Third set underway. Off the hands of El-Nadi. Wichita State scores first. Brooklyn Leggett has had a fine night.
She had a great second set. They started to get her going even more now, leading the Shockers with 7 kills. Morgan Stout just with 1 kill in that second set after getting 5 in the first. So certainly we're going to get her going.
There's Zoe Burgess. The freshman making her presence felt.
As Zoe Burgess registers her first kill of the night. Big hugs from her teammates as she checks out. I loved her energy, even when she didn't play this last weekend all the time. She was just excited throughout.
Reagan Burns with the ace. I walked in tonight, Zoe Burgess was ahead of me, and just walking into the building, she looked like she was ready to have fun.
Yeah, fun. It smiles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That long from Wichita State. Chris Lamb's players asking for a challenge.
This because Chris Lamb just asked Billy Evil, and he's like, "Oh, that was out. That was out." So much trust between these two coaching staffs. Good friends.
Billy's 2 for 2. That's Emerson Wilford.
Emerson Wilford is going to cause issues for her opponents because of the length and because of that ability to hit high over the top towards the line. That was more about placement, but her ability with her length.
London Davis will get credit for that one.
Well, London Davis has had a night with tips, hasn't she? I mean, it seems like I think 4 of her 5 kills have been over the top of the block with a tip shot. But she sets that up with going with power so much on film.
Right through the Kansas block is Wilford. He's getting close to double-digit kills now with 9.
Emerson Wilford to serve.
Ellen got the Kansas block on their descent.
Big swing from Stout.
We'll give credit to Izzy Strand on this one because Aya El-Nadi went up because Izzy Strand is live and said she thought she was going to go over on 2. But then for Morgan Stout to continue to run that path on the slide attempt for an open net.
Another touch point, Wichita State. Shockers again with the early lead.
And as I mentioned, the last 2 matches for Wichita State went 5. They're completely comfortable. They went down 2-0 against Kennesaw State in one of those matches. So they'll settle in and go the distance.
A rare miss from Monabanjo. Shockers by 2. Great effort. Strand able to keep it up. Turner dumps it over.
She just makes everything look so easy, doesn't she? I mean, it's just, keep in mind, she's what, quote unquote, undersized setter, but she makes up with it with her physicality, with how she reads the game, with every single skill at such a high level. Every time we talk to coaches, it's like Cameron Turner, Cameron Turner. It's just, she's the engine that makes this team go. And not even mentioning just her leadership, too, and how great of a person she is.
On a banjo. Says thank you very much. Redirects it. Kansas draws even.
That was quickly on a trampoline.
Wichita State. Race head to serve.
Oh, Naughty from the back row. Man, I love that play.
You're going to earmark that one, right? You love it. Flying in from the back row. You can see just one blocker up in the middle, but even just the pace of that as well. I mean, perfect pass, too. You got it, just the set selection from Cameron Turner to go there when everyone else is expecting something different out of that.
Good serve.
Heidi Devers for the Jayhawks, a true freshman from St. James Academy. And her serve is so potent because it's low to the plane of the net. It's aligned to like a floater serve, a flat floater that will get on you in a hurry.
Allie Paulson brings the Shockers even at 8. There's Zoe Burgess.
And you got to think fast if you're on this front row
Oh, you
over here,
betcha.
because this one deflects off right here.
Hang on to your popcorn.
Courtside seats.
That one would leave a mark, too. Paulson. It's really interesting when a player can kind of feel the coach's confidence a little bit and steps up, and Allie Paulson has done that.
Having success in practice and definitely converting it over into this match. Is 4:44 in this match is Allie Paulson with the starting nod tonight.
Reagan Anderson with a nice pickup.
To serve.
We talked about the depth and the veterans for Kansas, but also for Wichita State. Keep in mind, they won the NIVC last season to end their season on a high note, but they had to replace a lot of key elements to their team. So it's interesting to see the infusion of some players being able to step up into different roles.
Emerson Wilford, the junior.
And she's one of those. Leggett, another one.
Turner tried to dump it over. They just got a hand on that one. El Nadi has it turned right back. Stout says no.
You want a textbook block? This is one you should feature.
That was a thump. El Nadi changes pace this time.
Well, you can understand why. El Nadi on the play before that thought she could go underneath the block in time and an angle, because she's been able to do that. But the adjustment from Morgan Stout is like, nope, I am going to seal the net with my left hand.
on a banjo. Her 9th kill.
And this is the matchup, the middle matchup that I was looking forward to. On a banjo, coming into this match, leading the Jayhawks in kills. And then for Wichita State, it's Morgan Stout going at it head to head right now.
And with the pickup. Burns to London Davis. Thank you very much.
She said, I'm not going to tip this one. That was on a platter. Laying the table, as Lambeau actually says. We're glad to talk about the secondary set there from Reagan Burns. The libero for the Jayhawks. I mean, just gave London Davis time and space to work with.
Turner out to El Nadi, right down the line, but well wide, yes.
And that ends a 3-0 scoring run for the Jayhawks.
Gallagher serves. This man on a banjo, and we're even at 13. Tight to the net. First El Nadi. Now it's Kansas with the lead.
You got to appreciate this competitiveness here from Morgan Stout. Watch her middle blocker going down to try to get that ball up.
Grim McKee. Great pickup. Morgan Stout brings it even to 14.
Now dig a ball, Brim McGee. in the seam.
That was thumped.
Into that angle.
El Nadi. That one's good, and Kansas is the first to 15. Timeout on the court. The Jayhawks have taken the first 2 sets over Wichita State, and they lead here in the third. 15-14 on Big 12 Now here on ESPN+.
Take a look around and you'll notice something extraordinary. Look at your community, your state, and even farther. Jayhawks are there.
We'll see a lot of the Jayhawks in the month of September, beginning with Lipscomb on the 15th. Kansas will have 6 straight home matches here inside Horish. A great schedule. Purdue, Tulsa, Creighton, UCF, and Houston all in a row here in Lawrence. Jayhawks facing Wichita State here. Even at 15 now.
Similarly to how set 2 went, kind of back and forth. Either team could have grabbed that second set, and here we are again, now in a race to 10.
Stout goes long. We'll go back to Kansas. Devers with the serve. I think Izzy Strand thought that was off Cameron Turner last, but
We might see a challenge here.
Well, that's a tough call. I think you're up on the challenges.
You're 1 for 1. You're calling it good. Ball tight to the net. Izzy Strand is a live attacker because they're running that 5-1. She's a setter on the front row. Goes up to joust, interesting enough, against Kansas' setter, Cameron Turner.
But does the ball go off Cameron Turner's right hand here as it heads out of bounds?
At the plane of the net here.
JDH 1 for 1, 2024. We're retired. That's it. Where's Billy Ebel? He's 2-0. Give him a run for his money here. Good challenge though, because it certainly looked like maybe Cameron Turner's right hand was on that ball, but Kansas now with a 2-point advantage. And another ace.
Heidi Devers had 2 aces last weekend in a tournament victory for Kansas. You can see why she's in the lineup, just with her ability to score points from the service line.
Timeout Wichita State as Kansas has opened up a 3-point lead.
I still think coming in and serving while you're cold is got to be one of the hardest things to do. I know you agree with me.
I absolutely agree. There's no bullpen. There's no warm-up.
Right.
You don't go to the righty, and
get a couple practice
get the cart right into the.
Imagine if they had a little side bullpen-ish type of thing where you could warm up your arm before you go in.
We talked about the great home schedule coming up for Kansas. They're at Marquette. They'll have a match with Western Michigan, then you see Lipscomb, Purdue, Tulsa. We'll have those for you here on ESPN+.
And I'm sure those are both going to be battles for the Jayhawks. This is a critical time right now for the Shockers. As they first thing, just think about siding out, getting this point right back. Because they're definitely not out of this one here, just 3 points down. But it's a critical time right now in this third set. As Kansas is on a 3-0 scoring run.
Devers with another good serve. Nice pickup from Devers. Yen was there.
The court defense for the Jayhawks, I've been impressed with. Not only with Devers, but Bryn McGee in that right back has made many plays throughout this match. And then Caroline Bien just being so steady. I mean, it's just a player that you have to have on the floor in Caroline Bien throughout because of her ability to play at such a high level in every facet.
Zoe Burgess.
Something tells me, Leaf, that Zoe Burgess is going to be a player like that we saw with Taylor Susie and the likes of that you just gravitate towards because of the joy and then how happy her teammates are. I think it's always telling how happy your teammates are when you do something well, just because that means that you're such a good teammate.
That's Gonzalez off the hands, ends the run for the Jayhawks.
Now going after the smaller of the two blockers with Cameron Turner's hands. A smart shot from the Shockers.
That was tight to the net. I believe they're going to call Cameron Turner. Shockers within 3. Burgess. She's picking up steam.
Looking really comfortable on one. See how long she has to track that ball with a high snap, high contact point. You can see why she was the Gatorade Utah Player of the Year last season. I remember Billy Ebel showing me videos a few years ago and how excited he was that Zoe Burgess is going to become a Jayhawk.
Allie Paulson, redshirt freshman. Going to be a good one for a long time, too.
No doubt. I mean, just see how watching her drive to the ball, working hard in the middle. You have to continue to do that as a middle hitter, but sometimes you don't get the ball as often. But Izzy Strand's ability to deliver her middles the ball, I think you're happy if you're a Wichita State Shocker.
London Davis takes Kansas to 22.
And just when you think London Davis is maybe having a quiet evening, there she is coming around on a 2-ball, just changing up the zone in which she's attacking to open up some things for her.
Long from Wilford. Kansas 2 points away from this match. Chris Lamb wants a timeout. So there's a lot to like about this Wichita State squad.
There's a lot to like, certainly. I mean, Coach Lamb does such a wonderful job with that program. It's an easy team that you can see where they have the pieces and they'll continue to get better. And big reason why they're picked to finish second in the American Athletic Conference.
26-8 a year ago. Wichita State was trying to break through 18 straight losses to ranked teams. The last win over a ranked opponent was 2017. But they've run into a really, really good Kansas squad tonight.
I mean, there's always a little extra juice, as I mentioned, in-state, opponent coming in, but then also first home match. I feel like it's louder in here. I don't know if the stereo system or just the crowd has so much hype getting back into Orange, but it's lively.
All right, Caroline Bien will serve it up. Two points away from victory. Let's pick it from Bien. El Nadi as it turned back. Allie Paulson got a lot of that.
Caroline Bien sitting and digging a ball, but then it takes a really big swing at it, but the block.
Might have been Leggett. That serve goes long. It's match points now for Kansas. Reagan Burns puts it in play. Banjo got a hand on that one. London Davis. Jayhawks in straight sets.
The Jayhawks dominant in set number 1. It was a battle in set number 2. Give Wichita State a lot of credit. And then closing it out with a little bit more firepower in set number 3.
Your hard work as well. Jill Dorsey Hall, always a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you, partner. Hey,
volleyball season's off to a good start.
We're both 1-1.
That's right. We're retiring right now. For Jill Dorsey Hall, I'm Lee Flesig saying so long from Lawrence, where Kansas wins it in 3 sets over Wichita State. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from Lawrence, Kansas.
CRM cereal is the solution your business needs to win like a champion. It's toasty and crunchy.
Hang on, what about user adoption?
It's crunchy.
What about compatibility?
Well, it's toasty.
But can it port my existing database?
Let's ask CRM Panda.
CRM Panda? This commercial's not telling me anything.
Dancing pandas don't sell CRM. Ads on LinkedIn do. With 70 million decision makers, LinkedIn is the place to be.
So, how long have you lived here? And how are the restaurants around here? Are they good, bad, meh?
Marcy, we've got to go!
I'm sorry!
We've got 17,000 more parks to visit. We bring you the best neighborhood info.
Ding dong!
Homes.com.
In the wilderness, fearless and human. Sauvage, eau forte, the new parfum, Dior.
So I would say to anyone who is interested in being an online student, come to ODU. What's stopping you? The opportunity to create a schedule that works for you is there. The opportunity for you to create a community outside of yourself, regardless of if you're online, is there. The only thing that's not there is you. You want a degree? Then do it. Invest in yourself, because it will always pay off.
Business can happen virtually anywhere, but there's nothing like being there. At National, you can skip the counter and choose any car in the aisle. Even manage your rental right from the app. Go National. Go like a pro.
The U.S. Open, August 26th through September 8th on ESPN.